box of crayons. Do you remember that? It's 120 colors. And all your friends, they got you Star Wars toys. But all you wanted to do was draw with all your new colors. And you drew this big spaceship. But it wasn't from a movie. It was your spaceship. A rainbow ship is what you called it.
Stranger Things. It's the Stranger Things time. Hello, everyone. Now, before I even start talking about the title of this video, we need to talk about the title of this video. When I am going to post this video, in the very first week, this video is going to be titled Will Byers is Gay as Frick Part 2. And in a week, it is going to just be Will Byers is Gay as Frick. Now, if you don't know, there is indeed a part 1 to this video, which I will have in the description down below. Now, if you're wondering as to why this video will eventually just be called Will Byers is Gay as Frick, it is because I am going to be unlisting the first Will Byers is Gay video. I have said Will Byers is gay so many times already in this video, and we are not even talking about that yet. Now, the main reasons I'm deleting that video is just because it's really cringy. Like, I rewatched it a little while ago and I was just like shaking my head at myself. I was just doing a very bad job. I have a lot of pauses in that video. My camera presence is very off. And also the information I give in that video, though some of it is very true, some of it I give in that video is not very strong, / I could have used more points to explain to you as to why I agree, well, why I believe this is proof for him being gay. Now, not gonna lie, it is pretty painful for me to unlist, I think, my second most viewed video on my YouTube channel, but I'm doing it for the greater good. So it will live forever in the description of this video. Now, Season 3 of Stranger Things. Holy shit. Season 3 was honestly very refreshing and very fun. Now, I think the show has evolved a lot since season 1. Now, Taylor J. Williams, he made a review of Stranger Things, and I agree with a lot of his points in that video. Obviously, maybe I'm not as nihilistic as he is in that video, but I do agree with a lot of his points. So I recommend maybe watching that one if you want to know what I think personally, because I don't really want to do a review of Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things and I'm going to always talk about Stranger Things. You know, have critical thoughts about media I like, but I can still enjoy it. So that's my opinion. My snack of choice today is oatmeal. I know it's a non-conventional one, but I'm hungry, so. But yeah, this season definitely was the most tonally different out of the ones we'd had before. I think it's like season 1 we started off with, and Taylor J. Williams says this in his video, but we start off with kind of like with 3 different storylines. We have the E.T. kids dynamic. We have the very Scream high schooler kind of experience. And with the adults, we have much more of the, like Die Hard, I guess? I don't know, I can't think of a good example. But like your cop, your dirty cop movie, you know? And obviously it was working with a bunch of different 80s tropes. And then in season 2, it was like kind of doing the same thing. But I think the problem with season 2 is it just was trying to replicate season 1 so much. And that's why I like season 3 more than season 2, because season 3 just kind of like just went completely the other direction. Like, it wasn't worried about like not being too cliche or niche and all that kind of stuff. It just went for it. It just had it be the most 80s flamboyant thing it could be. And I love that because as much as one person could say, oh, that's not like how the 80s were or whatever. First of all, were you born in the 80s? Stranger Things is always just trying to pay respects / takes inspiration from original 80s film. And so of course we're going to be getting like the teen summer romance flicks, the Russian Terminator, that kind of stuff. Of course we're gonna see that. If there's anything specific in season 3 you want me to talk about, feel free to comment it down below and maybe I will. Okay, now before I actually get into the meat of this video, and I'm sorry I keep not sticking to the point of this video, if you believe me talking about a minor character, not like minor as in minor in the show, like minor as in under 18, in the show with an under 18 of age actor, if you believe me talking about his sexuality is inappropriate or perverse, you believe that homosexuality is inherently sexual and perverse. And that is more of a you problem than a me problem. So, exit out of this video now, please. Now, if you're even asking yourself, but why is she even talking about this? This is a show about kids solving mysteries and on an adventure. Let's be honest here. The whole narrative for Eleven and Mike and most of the kids is finding relationships. The whole climax of season 1 is when Mike kisses Elle. The beginning of season 3 starts off with Mike and Elle making out. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't think that's sexual or perverse, and you think what I'm going to be talking about today is sexual and perverse, okay, now we're gonna actually get on with this video. I'm going to really quickly just review my points in my first video, and then we're gonna talk, and I promise you will not take long if you already saw the first video. Honestly, this is probably just a good refresher. And then I'm gonna talk about my new points that I have curated over the past year. First thing I talked about in that video is that Noah Schnapp has said on an Instagram post, apparently he said it in live stream, stuff like that. I don't know to be sure because I don't watch that kind of stuff / I haven't seen it around, but he has explained that he doesn't believe that Will is gay and that he kind of takes the side of, why do we have to put a label on things? This group of teens are all, or this group of kids have all come together based on their shared weirdness. Well, and Will is already weird by being an outsider, a nerd, the quiet type, and he's not gay, basically. Now, when I first made the video, and I talked about Noah Schnapp's, Schnoops, people will correct me, Noah Schnapp's opinion about Will Byers being gay, I said it was like pretty alright, like he didn't sound too one way or the other, but looking back on his response, it looks a lot like the comments on that video. let's just pull one up right now. Someone just said I looked like Olive from Ant Farm. I'm so... People act like the 80s a rainbow meant gay a rainbow was something that came after rain, not what gay people are like. Do they bleed rainbows? No. So why did they take the rainbow? Why do they have a gay pride month and not a straight people month? Yikes. That's a child who can't speak English. But his response slowly starts to sound more and more like my comment section of like, why are you making it weird? Shut up. He's not gay. Kind of thing. And I know, obviously, like, I'm not the say all, be all end all of his character, but I'm allowed to have an opinion. I also explained that the Duffer Brothers have not really expressed any direct opinions about this subject. I don't even think they've been asked about it, but also they kind of keep to themselves, so. But the one thing they have said is in Will's OG character description, to paraphrase, is that he is a nerdy kid with sexual identity issues, which basically translates to Will Byers maybe likes boys. Now, obviously, this was the original character description of Will, so they don't have to necessarily be following it, but I think it's a very important piece of information to keep in mind when you're watching the show, because Will's character, that was part of his character construction. Especially when you watch the first season, you, like, that's kind of what they were going off of. Now, obviously things change, but I'm just saying, Will Byers was gay. You can't not, like, that is truth. Like, that's the truth. As much as people will like to comment on my videos saying that I'm just making a conspiracy theory out of nothing and stuff like that, it is not a conspiracy theory if the directors of the show have literally thought of it and have had it in the back of their minds the whole time. The other thing I talked about was the relationship between Mike and Will in season 2 mirrors a lot of the relationship between Elle and Mike in season 1. I think Mike has a strong instinct to care for people, so we see in season 2 he is extremely protective over Mike, or over Will. Anytime he has kind of a freak out about the mind flare, he is there to hold his hand, he sleeps by him, he goes with him to the hospital, all this kind of stuff. He is always there for him. In a very similar way, Mike was always there for Elle, even though the other characters might not have understood as to where Will was coming from, / where 11 was coming from. And we see, like, it's actually really interesting how we see a lot of parallels between season 1 / a little bit of season 2 of 11 being stuck in some kind of upside down, like, messed up situation, and she calls out for Mike, and we'll see Will, he'll be, you know, in those weird, like, things where he'll be, like, in the upside down with the mind flare, and he'll call out for Mike as well. Not any of the other characters, just Mike. Will drew a rainbow rocket, come on! Will said gay rights. Those are pretty much all of the points that I made in that original video, and I'd just like to say, even though I may dwell on some of the negative comments, I got a surplus of truly sweet, amazing comments from people, and for that, I thank you guys a lot. Obviously, putting your opinion online is scary. I didn't really care when I put out that video. I feared no God. But thank you guys for being very sweet and considerate with that video, because there's definitely more love than hate on that video. But I just want to address some of the rebuttals I had gotten in the comment section. A lot of people would point to that a girl cried at Will's funeral, and the boys said, like, oh, Will, like, would love to hear about this, that, like, that girl, I don't remember her name, cried at his funeral. I don't know what to say to you other than, like, kids can, like, lie and say, oh yeah, like, who do you have a crush on, Will? Oh, that girl. And can, like, fake attraction. Haven't you ever done that before in, like, any situation? Second point, he danced with a girl at the end of the season. Now, even though you can see his face when she asks him to dance, and we see that he really doesn't want to dance with this girl, and though you still may think, oh, he looked like he was having a good time when he was dancing with her, let's just maybe look at the script for what happened at that point. Will with the cute girl, dancing awkwardly, but his eyes aren't on the cute girl. They're on Mike, who is dancing with 11. I don't know, that sounds kind of homosexual to me. Third complaint. Noah Schnapp isn't gay. Never said he was gay. Noah Schnapp is... I don't care. I don't care. 4. Will is so cute, he can't be gay. I always notice this thing where people will, like, be really hurt that a character's gay, because they're like, they can't be gay because they're so cute and I have a crush on them and I'm a girl and they're a guy, and I'm like, you can have, like, you can think gay people are attractive. Like, I never understood that problem. Grizz is my, like, fattest crush right now. And I love him to bits, but he's gay and I know that. Do I, like, want to be with him? obviously, but does that mean I will ever be with him? No, because he's a fictional freaking character and a girl can dream. Do I want him to not be gay so I can pretend to be with him? No, because that makes me sound like a crazy person. Now let's talk about the new data I've collected ever since my first video. One point that people actually brought to my attention that I didn't really notice and pick up on until I saw it in the comments. When bullies are going after Will, they're usually saying things related to homophobic slurs. He is pretty much the only character that gets that kind of slack, or it's about him going to the upside down. Honestly, I know people are gonna ask me about Byler, which is Will and Mike. Will and Mike's relationship has been the start of a lot of shipping. It's pretty prominent, I would say. And as much as I doubt it will actually happen, which, you know, sucks, but yeah, let's be honest here. Mike and Elle are so boring to me. Like, they are so... It's, like, kind of painful to watch them at this point. Obviously, when they were, like, young, it was really cute. Like, I remember being, like, when I first saw the part where, Mike kissed 11, it was just so sweet and pure and just like, oh, like, they're all about to die. It's so sweet. But now I'm like, shut up. You're so boring. At least Mike and Will do like activities together that aren't just kissing. I just have a little bit of an annoyance with 11. But anyway, I just want, is it just so bad to ask that I want Elle to be a strong, independent woman? I want that for her. I want that life for her. I want that luxury for her. That's... And also, going back to the homophobic slurs part, when, at the beginning of the first season, when Joyce goes to Hopper about finding her son, she says that people call her son a queer, and he's like, well, is she? Well, is he? And she's like, anyways, which is clearly, I believe, kind of like, obviously it was like a joke, but I also think it's like a little bit of like a, but anyway, I guess that's up to interpretation. His character is pretty much the only one that isn't obsessed with girls in the show. Like, I kind of mentioned this in my first video, but whatever. In season 2, when Max comes onto the scene and Dustin and Lucas are immediately like, oh my god, I'm obsessed. Girl, I'm obsessed. And we can see that they're like seriously like into her whole vibe. And you know, obviously Mike isn't because he's still hung up on Elle. But we see that Will is like the only character that really doesn't have a discernible reason for not being into Max. And I'm just saying, it's like a little, like, I'm not saying that he has to fall for everyone in order to be heterosexual, but I'm just saying it's like a bit funny how he is like, all the boys are pretty much girl obsessed while he is the only one that isn't. And I'm just now on to the events of season 3. Now, during the time that season 3 of Stranger Things came out, I was on a trip with my family to Croatia, and in the time that it came out, we were traveling. So I wasn't really able to watch it all like fluidly. I kind of had to wait a while to do it, like a couple days, but that obviously meant I had to like not look at my YouTube notifications because I knew what was going to be there. But one day I accidentally looked at them. Thank God it didn't say anything in relation to the deaths that happened, because I would scream if I found out early on. Oh my god, that wrecked me so bad. He's probably alive though, but like still I just remember seeing a couple comments from my BYERS is Gay video of people saying just, oh dang, you were right. and me being like, okay. Now, of course, you can understand that I was kind of excited to watch the season and be like, heck yeah, my boy finally came out of the closet. I'm so happy for him. And then I watched the season and I was like, ugh, I guess. Now, if you're wondering if I'm like mad about Will's character and his homosexuality in season 3, I'm not that mad. I'm really not. It's just at this point annoying and a little bit painful to watch. It was almost kind of comical how little screen time Will and his character development was getting this season. Now, obviously, I get it. There are so many characters at this point that there's not really a lot of room for everyone to get a character arc. But I'm just saying, they had the time. Like, they dedicated time to Will, but then it was just not, like, it was done, you know? It was just done badly. And it was comically done badly to a point. Like, Mike's character arc this season was so dumb and got so much unneeded screen time. Like, not gonna lie, the first couple episodes with the whole boys suck thing was lame, and I didn't need it. But yeah, it's fine if all the characters, well, don't have to have like individual character arcs like the Scoop Troops, which reign supreme. Scoop Troops for life. But his was like almost the start of a good one. But let's like think about it though. It was pretty much the whole season. I mean, we've all seen the meme of Will being like, can we play Dungeons and Dragons, please? And his friends are like, stop, we're trying to get girlfriends, you know? That's the whole joke. But when we really look at that, it just kind of makes me sad. Will seems to be the last of his friends that are actually clinging onto their childhood. And with Will's obvious trauma that he has gone through for the past 2 seasons and still ongoing in this season, we understand why he wouldn't want to grow up just yet. Because in the last 2 seasons, because out of all the characters, he has lost the most amount of his childhood. In the first season, he was stuck in the Upside Down, fending for his life, while in season 2, he was possessed by the Mind Flayer. While the rest of the kids were on quirky adventures, saving the day, revving their slingshots and skateboarding and playing video games, Will was not having a good childhood. It's like he's been stuck, and he feels like he can't move forward because he never got the childhood that he wanted. So when he's finally given his last summer as an official child, because next year they're going into high school, he's disappointed when all they want to do is talk about girls. And he reminisces to a time that he felt normal, and that was before everything happened, playing D&D on that fateful night of the vanishing of Will Byers. The part where Will smashes Castle Byers is actually really emotional and sad in the context of that. Now, obviously, it was like a little bit lame when you watch it because it just felt so like, oh, I'm sad. But when you think about it in the context of him losing his childhood, this is him ripping apart his safe haven. This was where he went to hide from his parents' divorce, to hide from the Demogorgon. He's not growing out of his childhood crutches like everyone else is. He is smashing and forcing them apart. He's trying to conform to the new attitude of his friends, but in reality, the Mind Flayer is always with him. It's a constant reminder that he'll never be exactly like them. Because, for Will, there's a fundamental difference inside of him that's unlike his friends. Yep, that totally doesn't sound like gay subtext to me. Nope. Okay. And of course, we have the fateful line that has flooded my comment section for the past couple weeks. When Mike says to Will, "It's not my fault you don't like girls." Ba-dum boom. Now, of course, I feel like I shouldn't even have to explain to you what kind of emotional annoyance. What kind of annoyance this question would inflict on Will, whether he's gay or not. To me, Will's character isn't only very clearly gay, but his character arc and his character period really only make that much more sense if he is indeed gay. I don't want to say 100% that the Duffer Brothers are queerbaiting Will, because clearly they know what queerbaiting is, because they straight baited the whole audience with Robin this season. I love you, Robin. But I honestly don't know what's happening here. Is it bad writing? Maybe. Is it the writers of the show wanting to give more attention to the secondary characters, the characters that don't really get as much of an appreciation, like Erica and Dustin and, you know, those kind? Maybe. Maybe they don't want a main character to be gay because Stranger Things reaches such a wide audience? Maybe. Does he have a huge coming out party next season and he just hasn't made enough invitations yet? Let's hope. Honestly, the ideal way I want Will's coming out to go down is that somehow Steve and Robin, and maybe some of the gang, they go up to where Eleven and Mike are living, or Eleven and Mike, they go down to Hawkins and they all hang out, and they're at like one big like little festivity thing, and Steve, obviously being the babysitter, he drags Robin with him, and Robin's like, no, I don't want to, these are children, but he's like, please, 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 come on, you're gonna love it, and she's like, okay, fine. So they're like walking around, I don't know, maybe they're like doing some kind of activity, rollerblading, skateboarding, I don't know, some 80s thing. Robin and Will end up meeting. Maybe they're both the ones that are at the party that are a little bit, I don't really want to be here. But Robin's like, why don't you want to be here? You're with your friends. And Will's just kind of saying like, I haven't seen my friends in so long and I feel like they've all changed. I feel like they're all new different people now and I don't know them. And Robin's like, don't be silly. Like, how long have you known these people? Your whole life. Like, they're going to be your friends forever. Will's like, yeah, but I don't know if they even like me anymore. And Robin kind of is picking up on context clues, and eventually Will tells her he's gay, and they have a little solidarity moment. And it doesn't even have to be this loud and proud thing. I just want that little moment, and I want Robin to encourage Will that it's okay. It's all right, and you are allowed to be whoever you want to be. And that's ideally how I'd want it to go down. But obviously, I'm alright with interpretation. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe. Please donate your blood down below. I'll make sure to, I don't freaking know where this joke is going. Okay, what did you think of season 3? Was Will's homosexuality up to your standards? Please leave it in the comments below. Alright everyone, goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.